So the last session we spoke about the architecture part of how the data process flow from the source systems to our base object, and also we saw the three-tier architecture where it helps us to explain the details of your master data, your ORS, your client server, your hub servers, and everything. So today let's see the architecture, sorry, let's see the tool level description part where it contains the multiple tools. In general, we know that if you compare with Informatica Power Center, to do the development part, we have Informatica Power Center Designer. Similarly, to do the execution part or to create the workflow or job, we have the workflow manager. Similarly, to monitor the jobs, we have a workflow monitor, and to do the admin stuff, we have an admin console. So similar to that, we also have a repository manager. So these are different tools available in your Informatica Power Center to do your respective task. But coming to our Informatica MDM, it's not the case. So we do not have those many tools as we have in your Power Center. So in here we have only one tool where this tool contains all the options before your admin, and it contains all the options for your MDM developer. At the same time, it contains all the options for your data steward. So whoever the person who working, he may be a admin, he may be a data steward, or he may be a MDM developer. Anybody it can be, but he will be working on the same tool itself. So now let's try to understand the different options we have in our tool. So then we can move forward from there. Okay. So see, this is a virtual machine we are trying to use. So now, as I said in the last class, we need to have your to select cleanse match server and your hub server, right? Cleanse match server is used to run your job, where your hub server is used to do the development part. I mean, like your repository service and your integration service. So I also told that in order to have your cleanse match server or your hub server, we need your application server. And we know that generally we have three types of application server, not three, more than that, but in general real-time perspective. So we have like JBoss, and also we have like WebSphere and WebLogic. So do not worry about the application server, because as I told you, as Informatica MDM developer, you are nothing to do with these application servers. But as a admin role, you need to know all these things, because you have options like you need to create some kind of message queues in your application server, and you need to do something else. So being a admin, you need to know all these things, but being a MDM developer, you no need to worry about this particular application servers. So in order to have your cleanse match server to be on, or your hub server to be on, you need to run your application server first. So the first step is like we need to run our application server. So see here, in our training session we have a JBoss over here. This is application server. So you should run this. So when you double click on this, you can see some kind of notepad over here like this. Yeah, this is like some kind of notepad, and it starts running your all your cleanse match server and your hub server. Okay, so once this is up and running, then you need to start your MDM hub console. Okay, so it's not like directly going to MDM 10.2 and double clicking on that, work on it. But in real-time perspective, you no need to run any kind of application server. That will be on every time. So this is only for up to our training session. Okay, so you need to double click on this. I'll help you in installing this particular part, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so once this is up and you double click on this, and once that you double click on this, you can see a small window popping up asking you like, what do you want to access? Do you want to access ORS, or do you want to access master database? That's what we learned, right? So generally we have two types of databases. One is ORS and another one is your master database. So when you click on any one of the thing, this is what you can see. over here. So this is nothing but your tool. So this is the tool, overall tool of your MDM hub console you having here. Okay, so this contains the options for your admin. See here, configuration tab you have here, you have your model tab, you have your security access manager tab, you have a data steward tab, and you have some kind of utilities. So these are the different options you can find in this your hub console tool. So the first one is like your configuration tab, where this is purely for your admin perspective. So I told you, right, your admin can work, your developer can work, and your data steward can also work on the same tool. So these are the options you see here, all these for your admin point of view, and this is your, I can say, master database. If you go back and look into the things we spoke in the last class, if you see here, see, master database. So what it is, a master database? It is totally admin related stuff, and it contains like all different kind of high level configuration setting type of data, like who are the users are having the access, what the exact role of the person, or what the DB which has been associated with the MDM, how the message queues have been created, migrating of code. Okay, different ORS are available. So let's see all these thing options now in my tool now here. See here, the first one is like databases. So databases is like how many or what kind of ORSs have been associated, how many ORSs have been created in your MDM level. Okay, at the same time, what is the database is been associated with your MDM. I told you, like in general, MDM supports three types of databases. Those are nothing but your DB2, Oracle, and SQL Server only, right? So not more than these three. So in general, Informatica Power Center, it can support any kind of databases like Sybase, Informix, anything. But in your Informatica MDM, it supports only three. What is that? Your SQL Server, Oracle, and DB2 only. So I already mentioned over here in this particular point over here. See, okay. So let's see that one here as well now. So one more thing in here I like to say is that, so when you are in this is your master database. Okay, so when you are in master database, you can't access your model, SAM, data steward, or utilities. See, as of now I'm in ORS. If you see here at the bottom, you can see like Vamshi underscore ORS. That means I'm in operational references store as of now. When you are in ORS, you can access your model, SAM, that is security access manager, data steward, and utilities. So you can't access your configuration tab for sure. If you want to access the configuration tab, see, when I click on this, it shows an error saying that this tool can be used with your master database only. So you can't access your configuration tab with your ORS. But when I'm in model, when I click on anything like this, yes, I can see my related stuff over here. Yeah, see, I can see what are the things, the related stuff for the particular respective option over here. So like this, I can see over here. Okay, but when you are trying to access my configuration tab while you are in ORS, then it says that this tool can be used with only master database. So just click on connect to master database. Since we have only one master database, it directly points to that particular database. But when you are in master database now, see, when I'm trying to access my model, it says that this tool can be used with master database. I'm sorry, cannot be used with the master database. Select another database to use. So when you click on select database, it will pop up a window showing you all the ORSs. Because earlier, since you have only one master database, it did not pop up this particular window because directly connects to the particular master database. But when you're trying to access your ORS, it asks you which ORS you want to access. Okay, so for that reason being, this particular window has been popped up. Even this particular window will pop up when you are trying to access your Informatica MDM tool for the first time. That means, as I told you, after starting your JBoss, when you double click on this, you need to give your credentials. So once the authentication is done, then this particular window will pop up. Now your authentication is done. Now which one you want to access? Do you want to access master database, or do you want to access any ORS over here? In that scenario also, you can see this particular window pop up for the first time, every time. Okay. So I'm in master database, so I'm just cancelling this now. So now click on the first option over here. So this one it shows us what are the different ORSs are been created for us in our MDM level. So don't worry about all these options. I'm just trying to review all the options available in your MDM level. This configuration tab is purely for your admin stuff. Okay. So that's the first one. We have like CMX_ORS. This is one of the ORS we have here, and another one we have here Vamshi ORS. Okay, so click any one of the things. At the bottom you can see your database properties. So this properties helps us to know like what kind of database is been associated with this particular MDM over here. Okay, suppose I want to add one more ORS, then yes, I can do that. See here, I'm not able to see any kind of option to add over here. So how could I add? So one thing to be noted over here, Rajendra, this tool, when you enter for the first time every day when you enter there for the first time, when you come to the office, when you're trying to access your tool for the first time, this will be in read only mode. See, I'm not able to access any kind. If you double click on this, or if you double click on this, see, I'm not able to delete it. I'm not able to do any kind of stuff. Even these two are in inactive mode. This is something like check in when compared to your Informatica Power Center. Checked in, the code checked in, the mapping or session, the workflow, whatever it is, the component has been checked in, so you're not able to edit it. So now how could I enable this option? See here, you have few things here like write lock. Just click on that. So you have like acquire lock. So what is acquire lock? Acquire lock means you are trying to release. It's like a checkout. Okay, you're trying to release the things. When you click on this, see, now I'm able to see my plus symbol, minus symbol, everything over here earlier, and also I can edit now. See, I can edit now. Earlier I'm not able to do anything like this, right? So this is like for the first time, that's the tool will be read only mode, that is checked in. So you need to check out how can you check out that? Coming to right lock and acquire the lock. Okay, so that's how you can check out. So next is like you can see something like acquire exclusive lock. Acquire exclusive lock means this is not for us, but this is for your I can say it's for your admin perspective. So exclusive lock means no other person can access the tool. When the admin put your exclusive lock, that means no other MDM developer can access the tool. So why it's been done? What is the reason being you are having this exclusive lock? So this is like whenever the admin want to freeze the code. So admin do not want to make any kind of changes to any code by any MDM developer. So when he wants to freeze the code and when he want to move the code from one environment to another environment, see here repository manager. So this is what I said earlier, right? We can use this particular option to move my code from test to QA or QA to production. So once the code is moving, so I don't want to make any kind of changes, right? So in that scenario, the admin will go with my exclusive lock, acquire exclusive lock. So when the admin acquires that, other persons, any developer, any other data steward, who other persons are working on the access on the tool will be locked. So there will be no more giving access. That's about your locks. Okay. So the first time, what you need to do, right click, click on that and click on the acquire lock. Automatically now my tool will be enabled. Now if you have click on your plus symbol here, see it shows you like select type step 1 database type. It's Oracle, DB2 and SQL Server. Earlier it used to be only like Oracle and DB2. From 10th version, SQL Server has been added. Okay, so this is how you need to you can select the databases. But anyway, we have one more video regarding this, how to create a new ORS. This is not the exact method. I will send you that video as well, so that you can create a new ORS in your main system. But don't worry, on real-time perspective, no developer will create ORSs. That's totally your admin stuff. It's simply like creating your repository in your Informatica Power Center or creating your folder. So do we create any folder on our own? No, right? Everything is being created by admin, and we are the persons only to do the development part over there, right? So all these things totally purely based upon your admin stuff. Don't worry about this stuff, sorry. So now when you click on your ORS, any one of the ORS, at the bottom you can see your database properties. So the first one is like the database type. So it shows you like what database is been associated over here. What is a database is been associated? Is it Oracle, is it DB2, or it is a SQL Server? So just shows the information over here. And this is your database ID. So this has been useful for us when you're going with your real-time mode. So generally we know that we have two modes, right? One is real-time mode and the one is your batch mode. So when you going with the real-time mode, right, suppose at the same time I said that SIF helps us to control your MDM by your external application. Okay, so we can control the MDM or we can read the data using external application, as I have told you earlier, like not bad. It's taking a long time. So we know that we have two types of methods. One is like real-time mode, another one is like batch mode. And what also we know that SIF, using SIF, what can I do? We can control MDM hub console for whom? For some kind of external applications. So as I told you, like SAP sits in what to say, like in USA, and in MDM sits in India. So whenever you want to do some kind of controlling part, then yes, we can do that, right? So MDM, so SAP can see here you have that option. You already spoke about this earlier. So SAP when sitting in USA can read the data from MDM. Okay, using what? Using your SIF. This is similar to your television and you client and your server. So the SAP will be your client who needs the data, and the data to be read from is like your server. So how could I get the data? Using your SIF. So when you're trying to go to your MDM, in MDM you have a lot of things, right? You have multiple ORS over there. You have location related stuff ORS, you have a customer ORS, you have a location ORS, store ORS, product ORS. So you have a lot of ORSs. So now what data you want to read? So SAP wants to read the data from, suppose, like some customer ORS. So whenever I want to say some customer ORS, how could SIF knows? How could your SIF knows that yes, you need to go to your customer ORS and you need to go to a specific table and read the data from there only. So in order to have the exact information, yes, you need to access this particular specific ORS. Specifically for that reason being, you have this ID over here. So for each and every ORS, you have this option here, like database ID. So this one helps us to point the exact ORS. See it, if you go with CMX ORS, it gives like CMX ORS over here. If you go to some other ORS, so it gives you some other different ID. Okay, each and every ORS has its own ID. For that reason being, I'm telling you that this will be this database ID will be used when you're going with your real-time mode, when you're trying to use your SIF. Okay, in that scenario you can go with your database ID. And JNDI, this is also used for your real-time perspective when you're going with the SIF over here. And this is simply a mission identifier, there's nothing to go with. This is something like commit interval. So generally in Power Center, you have like source based commit, target based commit, right? So think that you have a source based commit. When you have a source based commit, what does it mean? Suppose over there by default you will be having 10,000 records. So what does it mean? It means that at a particular moment of time I will read 10,000 records, right? Similarly here also, when you're going with your SIF real-time mode, how many records you want to read? So what about my batch mode? So don't worry, that will be available in your tool level itself. This is only for your all your real-time mode. So when you're using your SIF operations. So this is like the maximum is the default value is 200. So maximum is 5999. So I'm just going with big number just to show you the error. See here, the value needs to be number between 0 to 5999. So this is the maximum number you can place when you're going with your real-time mode. So 5999 is my maximum number over here. So this is like a commit interval. So 5999 rows will be read at a particular moment of time when you're going with your SIF operations. Okay. So next is like production mode. This is very simple. Just enable this. Automatically this will be considered as a production mode. So generally for test or on the QA this will not be enabled, but for production, yes, this will be enabled. Okay, that's only to just to ensure that there's a production mode. And yes, you will not be having any kind of access when you are in production ORS. So API interoperability, this one is also like for used for some kind of row level locking. So we'll see more when you see your real-time mode perspective concepts. Okay, so these are the different database properties you have here. So it's very simple to know like only what is the database to be associated over here. So what is the database ID you have here, JNDI, and what is the main thing is like your commit interval. How many number of rows can be read from the external source system, so for your external source system, whatever it is, to and fro. Okay, so this is the thing. So you can have the same properties for all of your databases over here. Okay. So this is about your first option, databases. So next is like users. I would say no. Users. So users is nothing but generally we know that when you try to join in a particular project, that particular user should have the access, right? So in order to have the access, yes, admin will add the user in here. Admin will try to add the user in here. If their particular admin did not added the user in this particular list over here, then the perspective or so the specific user will not have the access to the tool. Suppose here I'm trying to go with small one, click on plus symbol now. So it will ask you your first name, middle name. This is totally admin stuff again, don't worry. So I'm just adding like Raj. Okay, and Raj again. So your username is RAJR, so I want to make it as RAJ only. So email ID, I'm just giving you like raj@some gmail.com. So now I'm trying to see here, he has an option to give for which one you want to give. So if you are acting like admin, then I'll try to give my access to my app console only. If you're developer,
then I'll try to give access to my ORS. Okay, so as of now I'm giving access to my admin over here, and password I'm giving like Raj again, RAJ. Okay, so now just click on OK. So now I can see this particular user has been created under my Hubcon's master database. Okay, let's try to see what happened. Can I access my data? Can I access my tool or not with this particular credentials? What is the credentials? Username is Raj and password is Raj. See here at the bottom I can see my admin over here. So just click on that. So now from as of now I'm in admin role, admin related user ID and a password. Now I'm switching to some other thing like Raj, RAJ and RAJ. Click on OK. When I click on OK, it shows you only one thing, your master database, but it never shows you the ORS because I created this particular user for default databases master database only. Okay, that is the reason being it's showing only your master database but not any other ORS over here. Now what I'll do, just click on connect. So once you click on connect, do you see any option over here? Nothing. So what happened over here? So what's happening is like I'm able to give just access to the tool. That means I just gave what you say, like you are able to authenticate the tool with your help of your user ID and password. You are able to authenticate only, but you are not yet authorized to use the options inside the tool. You are not authorized to use the options inside the tool. So now how could I get my options? So let's see that now. See here, go back. That's again your admin should give the options. So click on your Raj again, admin, click on OK. So I want to click my master database, click on connect. So now come to configuration tab. So even though I added my user, I'm not able to see my access, right? So now how could I see my options now? See here you have some kind of tool access. When you just click on that, see here you have the user here. Just click on your user Raj. Once you click on the user, so what are the things you see here? Configuration, model, SAM, data steward, utilities, all these things you can see it here. See here, suppose now I want to make the user as a master database, as a admin. So I want to give the access only for configuration tab. Then just click on configuration. Okay, see I just went out from admin to Raj, some other user, and again came back to admin. That means even admin does not have access to any kind of do some stuff. So what happened here? The tool is in read-only mode now. See, I'm not able to. I'm able to click on it, but I'm not able to do any kind of addition, adding to the roles to my, adding the options to my user Raj. So how could I do now? Again, acquire the lock. So once you are out to in some other database and came back, or some other user came back, again you will be having the read-only mode mode. So you need to acquire the lock every time. So click on configuration now. Click on this. So now I am able to add my configuration related stuff to my user Raj. At the same time, suppose you want to add your data steward stuff as well. Yes. So now what I'll do, again go back to Raj now. So I go to admin, click on at the bottom admin here. Now Raj. Click on OK. See now I'm able to see this again and click on connect. Now yes, I'm able to see my options related to my configuration and data steward. So how this happened? This has happened when the admin added different options for you. So what are the options can be added over here? Where he can add the options for a particular user, that can be done under your tool access option. that can be done under your tool access option. Okay, so this is like to add up the users, and this is tool access is like where he can either add the options or revoke the options. So again, since I went out and came back, acquire the lock. So if you want revoke, just click on this and revoke that. Registered options will be removed. So when you enter again, you can see only one option regarding your configuration tab. Okay, so this is how we can go with. So coming back to users again, so now you can see some kind of target database. So in this, like till now you have been added only for your master database. Suppose I want to add the ORS as well, then don't worry. So you see here we have options over here. So now click on your any one of the ORS, or just click on your new ORS over here, right click, assign user. So when you right click on assign user, you can see all these are users which does not have access to my any kind of ORSs. So now I'm just adding here Raj only and click on OK. So now you also have not only having the access to your master database, but also now I'm having the access, Raj is having access for my Vamshi ORS as well. So just check it out. I'm not going inside, but I just want to show you the window. So earlier it popped up with only master database, but now it's showing you Vamshi as well. Okay, so this is how it happens. Even though you have Vamshi, don't worry, don't think that you have access for your since you are having the access for your ORS, that means you should access all of this thing here, right? But if you connect it, just check it out again, you can see only one configuration tab. Doesn't mean that you will be having access to all the other options. So again, what should admin will do? Admin should do, he should access your, he should give the tool access for all other options. So this is only for like admin. He has two things. One is like he can create the user on users tab, and to give the access he need to come here for sure. Okay, creating just a user doesn't mean that, or creating a user under your master database or creating a user under your ORS doesn't mean that he'll be giving the access automatically. No, he need to give the tool access over here, because why it's having here is like, see here, this particular tool is a common tool for all different stuffs like admin role, development role, and your data steward role. Suppose you are working as a developer, then what is the use of giving you admin role or your data steward roles? So it's like waste of time, right? Because anyway, if you're not working on this and you just try to do some kind of stuff in this and something goes wrong, who is responsible? So if you're data steward, why should I give you my options related to my development part or options related to my admin? If you do something development, if you go to the development part and you did some kind of something wrong which corrupted the whole code, then who is responsible? For that reason being, what happens, like you may either in real-time perspective, real-time project, you may either give access to the whole tool, or you may restrict it only up to your specific options. So like if you're a developer, you'll be giving only model tool. If you're data steward, I'll be giving, you can see only data steward options. You will not be seeing other options as well at all. That's what you saw till now. Okay, so that's how admin can restrict a user. Admin can restrict a user based upon the options he is in, or based upon the role he is in. Okay. So that's about the users, and there's a thing that got stuck up. Yeah, so now coming back to user, this is the area where he can add a user, and also if your admin part, if you are acting as admin, just enable this. Okay, by enabling this, he will be acting as an admin. So target database, we already saw this, and this is the global policy password. So this is a simple one. You can easily read and you can understand this particular part. You can understand this particular part. This is like when you're trying to register yourself in any kind of website or somewhere. Okay, so generally it will ask you that the password should be 8 to 10 characters of length, and it should contain at least one capital letter, one special character, right? All such kind of options is there. That is the what to say, that is a rule they have kept by the admin. So this is, if you are admin, you can set that rule. See here, minimum password length should be 3, maximum should be 9. Password expires, so when it should expire everything. So just acquire the lock, you can have the more options over here. See, when this should be acquired, in how many days it will be expiring. So generally in real time perspective, our password expires in 90 days. So you can add like 90 days, because that is bit, if you add here 90 days, then automatically that will be done for us. Okay, so just we can make a change over here. So you can just simply read all these things. It's easily password pattern validation enabled, all these things. So it's a very simple one, and anyway, this is totally admin role. So all these things covers under your users. You creating a user, enabling your target databases, and your global policy password policy. Security providers, this is something for your external credentials to be activated. So generally we access the tool using your just credentials given by your client of the particular specific project. But suppose you are a special person and you need to have the access with some other credentials as well, not only given the default one, but also you need to give the access for other things, other different credentials also. Then yes, you can go with that. Suppose like I want to access this tool using my Gmail ID, okay, or my Yahoo ID, apart from my client ID. Yes, you can do that via your security providers. So but that should be provided by your admin. You will not give an access directly, simply like that. In general this will not ever happens, but if you want to go with some external security, external credentials, then yes, you can go with that. So this one, what happens, like you should be uploaded a particular file over here. So when you click on security providers, you can see security provider option over here. So just click on that. Yeah, now just click on the security providers over here. So you can see a window pop-up asking you for your jar file. Okay, so what is jar file? Jar file is nothing but it's a Java archive file. See here. Now just click on your upload provider file over here. When you click on that, you're trying to upload the file. So file is like which is provided by your LDAP. So hope you heard about LDAP persons. So LDAP, they will try to write the things externally. So they need to add your external ID in a jar file, and once the jar file is ready, they will provide to our admin. So what admin will do, like he will try to upload the particular file in this particular tool. See here, the provider file needs to be a jar file. That means the code should be written in Java only. Java only. So whatever the external credentials you need, that should be included or incorporated in your particular jar file, and that jar file is been provided by your LDAP to your admin. So once the admin receives a particular jar file, he need to upload that by clicking on this option here, upload jar file, and this one option over here. Just go to the respective place and upload it. From there onwards, you can access your tool using your external credentials. Okay, so tool is slow today, I don't know why. So that's about security providers. So we already heard about learned about tool access, so how to revoke and how to grant the different options over here. So next is like message queues. So this is something like, as I told you, like we have two types of modes. One is real-time mode and another one is like batch mode, right? So when you're trying to publish the data, then what we need to have, what we have, see here, we have message queues. So when you're in real-time mode, when you're trying to read the data, you can do it via your safe operations. But when you're trying to publish the data, you need to go with the message queues. So message queues, when you it can't be created directly within your MDM level directly like that. Okay. So for that, what they need to, like, we have it's a four-step process. The first step is like they need to go to your application server, creation of message queues. So the first step is like we need to create a message queue at application server. The first step. Second thing is that the message queue which is created at application server need to be called at MDM tool level. This is the second step. So whatever the message queue you created application server as an admin, that particular message queue need to be called at our MDM tool level. Third step is like, as a MDM developer, we will use the message queue which is called at MDM tool, One second. Okay, which is called at MDM tool. So this is the steps, and finally you have one more step, like we need to create XSD file to send the message queues to consumers. Okay, so these are the different steps you need to follow. So the first step is like we need to create the message queue at application server, and second step is like the message queues which is created at application server need to be called at our MDM tool level. So this particular second step can be done using your message queue option over here. So this one helps us to get the message queues which are created at your application server, and this will be done by an admin. You don't worry about this. Okay, so message queue, this is option over. So next is like repository manager. So this is very important because this is helpful for us to migrate the code from one environment to another environment. Okay, so generally Informatica Power Center we also have the options like to export the code or import the code, right, in XML formats. So similarly here also you can either export the code, whole code, or individual component, or import the whole code or individual component in .xml format, and finally you can move the code from one environment to another environment. I'll show you once you see more in detail this repository manager. So repository manager is again we have a it's a separate class for this particular option because we need to know a lot of things over here. So I'll tell you what are the different options available in this particular repository manager and where to go and how to do the code migration. So if you have, as a developer, I would say like if you have any option to touch your configuration tab, that is nothing but your repository manager only, nothing else more than that. Okay, so apart from repository manager, no other things will be given access for you. Just in case that two maximum things will be done by your admin only, but just in case if they are given you access, then they give access only for your repository manager only. So this is a separate class. We'll see in more detail how can you migrate the code from one environment to another environment or one ORS to another ORS. Okay, And enterprise manager, this gives you like the 360-degree view of your whole tool, like what are the different hub server we have, or what are the cleanse master, what different cleanse masters we have here, and like what is the master database we have here, how many ORSs are there, who are the users are having the access, all the things. The It's a total environmental report. It's a total environmental report. What happened, man? Still.
Hope you understood the options for this configuration tab, where it contains the options for your databases related stuff, your related ORS stuff, and as well as how to use the users, how to add the users, how to restrict the user for based upon the tool access. At the same time, like your repository manager, which helps us to migrate the code from one environment to another environment. So let's meet in the next session, which where we discuss more about the MDM developer options as well as your data steward options. So have a great guys. Bye bye.